One of the fascinating things about Oda Nobunaga is that, for lack of a better term, he does his homework. He's well prepared for the people he's going to fight. The Takeda clan militarily is known for the speed with which they can redeploy their troops. If they're left unchecked, they can move their forces around extremely rapidly, something that can really be very damaging if you're not prepared for it on the battlefield.
To try and blunt the attack, Nobunaga builds a series of palisades that he hopes will slow down the enemy forces.
These obstacles were placed so that as the Takeda moved forward, their advance would be disrupted. The entire point was to lure the Takeda into what essentially would be kill zones. Once they were there, these obstacles would disrupt their movement. And that's where the Oda and the Tokugawa gunners would do their damage.
However, one of the big weaknesses of muskets in this era is that reloading times are very long. And according to the traditional account, Nobunaga invented this great technique to mitigate that in what is known as the three-shot volley.
There would be units of arquebuses combined with 2 or 3 archers. While the arquebuses were reloading, the bowmen could cover that dead time. Because those would be staggered times, you get the effect of a rotating
off of the horse, who could then be attacked with swords or spears.
The Takeda's typical tactic was to try to move around their opponent, encircle them, and then defeat them from all sides.
Katsuyori was convinced that he could win this encounter, as did his followers. They had faced the Tokugawa before and had won this spectacular victory. Right on the eve of the battle, it's still fair to say that it could have gone either way.
A defeat could have been very damaging for Nobunaga's image around Japan. He's made a lot of enemies by the mid-1570s. If he loses, it could become a real rallying point for opposition to his rule.
When the two sides would clash in the morning, this would be one of the most decisive and landmark battles in Japanese history. On the morning of the battle, the Takeda move forward and take up an attack position on the ridgeline facing the Oda positions. Everything's silent except for the movement of horses. Katsuyori can see the Oda positions, but he's not real sure at this point exactly what he's facing. If you imagine your compatriots to your left and your right are getting hit, the only way to get through this is to get through these obstacles and engage with the enemy and go hand to hand.